Yeah. So does everybody have a beverage in hand?
Right here.
All right. Well, let's hold our cheers and do this. Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people who listen to the conversation, I hope you enjoyed it and thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello. Got a full house today. First time we are using maximized audio inputs on the Rodecaster. I am sitting here today with my friends returning to the show for the third time, but I guess second time in a new iteration of the band. Los Vampiros Amarillos. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you did.
Well done.
Fuck yes. Everybody make some noise for me.
Excellent. Well, good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
So here we are. There are some very specific reasons I think that maybe Kevin has in his head for y'all being here today for a third time. I know there's some dates to plug and some shit to talk.
No, that's it. We're done for the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just here for the beer. No, we have yeah, exactly. There's a bunch of exciting stuff that's happening. And right around the time that this show airs, we'll be 5 days away from a show at Kativo on August 10th, which is a Saturday.
In the basement.
In the basement, in the lower level, a non-smoking show. Very important to point out because I know a lot of shows, some friends of mine have come to Kativo and been smoked out.
We should start putting that on flyers.
Yeah. Oh, I've already posted it on the Facebook announcement. And a couple people were like, I'm definitely coming because, it's called Beach Blanket Blowout. And that'll be a night of garage rock and surf rock. And the lineup is The Spectres. It'll be Go Go Gidget, our band, and closing will be Vertigo Go.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool lineup.
It's a good lineup.
Pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, this was an idea I'd been kicking around. When we put out an album, it was now 3 years ago. We did the last album we released as the Me Too's had the Spectres and Vertigo Go on that lineup.
On the release show.
And it was, everyone said it was such a great night of, it was just not, all the bands really complimented each other and challenged each other, I think in a really awesome creative way. And it was just solid top to bottom. And I had been looking for an excuse to get that lineup back together. And the ladies of Go Go Gidget and our band have been trying to figure out something that would, that would coalesce well, where we could all get together. And I was just like, this is perfect. So
the stars aligned.
Awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
So August 10th, Kativo, non-smoking.
Non-smoking downstairs. And let's see, the doors are at 7, music starts at 8, and it'll be 4 quick sets. And I think people are, all the bands are planning on bringing their A game. Not that they don't normally, but I heard a lot of scheming about certain cover songs, and we might have people join us on stage and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a good show.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna do a show plug for a show plug. Actually, to
Cheers.
be fair, I don't really have anything to plug in August all that much. August 17th, I'll be at Iron Maiden if you want to come hang out, motherfuckers.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to plug that.
Where are they at?
They're at the PPG Paints Arena.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's going to be such a good show.
Hell yeah, I'm fucking stoked for that. It's really awesome to be in a situation when I could see Iron Maiden and I could walk to the show.
Yeah.
I can walk to PPG. It's like a half-hour walk from my house.
Yeah.
5-minute drive, but I'm just going to walk. Or ride my bike. How adolescent would that feel?
August 17th?
August 17th.
Have you ever seen
your bike?
Have you ever seen the Flight 666 documentary?
You know what? I want to say that I have, but I don't remember it. So if I have seen it, I maybe saw like half of it once. But
yeah, I hadn't listened to Maiden since I was a kid, but I saw this documentary and I forget what record store I was at. I was like, oh, that looks amazing. And the guy at the counter was like, you got to watch it. And I said, yeah, I used to listen to Maiden years ago. So I borrowed it off of a friend before I bought it. And I watched it. It did not disappoint. It's the lead singer is a pilot, but he can fly he flies their 737.
That's amazing.
With other pilots, it's not just him, but he flies them to India and then does a show and then flies them to wherever. And it's so.
What is it called again?
It's called Flight 666, and that's literally the call sign for the plane.
Perfect.
And the
Flight
big
666.
Iron Maiden logo.
Love it.
And it was just, I mean, if you're a music fan, especially a Maiden fan, as a documentary, it was awesome.
Yeah, that is super awesome. I'll have to watch it. I'm really bad at keeping up with documentaries and TV shows. If it wasn't for my girlfriend, Stacy, I would have never seen anything that I've seen in the past 4 years easily.
Yeah.
I just don't, it's not that I don't care. It's just, I don't know. I'm caught up in all
Steadily getting lost.
I'm just caught up in all my own other stuff.
And there's too much.
There's a
lot.
ton of really good documentaries out
It's
there.
not possible to keep up with all of
Yeah.
it.
Evan from Grey Walker and Sykes and the New Violence is really good at watching documentaries, and he's really good at telling me about things. I feel like he's been telling me about documentaries that I've yet to watch for the past decade. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Perfect. You're golden.
Yeah. At least one day, if things fall apart, maybe I'll like break a pinky or something, be stuck up in the house for a week, and I'll hit
Binge them all.
I'll hit up my boy E-Dog and be like, "Yo, slap me with them documentaries, broski."
What have I missed and what do I need to see?
Yeah. Real talk though, August 24th, Sykes and the New Violence is going to be playing the Spread Love Versus series, where we're doing like they're setting up 2 stages, and we're going to be like playing like song for song sets against another band.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
Where are
I'm
you
not
doing that?
It's at it's some spot in West Mifflin. I don't have the venue written down, which is really inconvenient right now. I'm just like pulling this up off of a general calendar I have. I wasn't even planning on talking about it, but I do feel like I should promote it. So that's
pretty cool.
August 24th, Spread Love Versus series. It's put together by Zachary Rudder, who is a artist in the Pittsburgh area, former guest of the show. And, I'm not even sure who's all playing. I'm not sure who I'm going against, but it should be fun because they're gonna lose. So
Huge fan of those sound effects.
I know. they're
with
great.
all that being said, I know that there was another date that you said you wanted to plug, and before we forget it, let's just get that out of the way so
Yeah.
we can, get back to talking. I think I just drooled. Beer just
Your beer.
beer collected in my mustache and dripped on my arm.
Mustache.
I didn't want to say anything because I'm quite
Why
jealous
is it
of
the day
it.
that I'm wearing a fucking white t-shirt? It's the day that like the beer is like, oh my God. I'm sorry. Plug your dates and I'm just going to fucking take a shower over
Yeah.
here.
Okay. No, it's actually, well, there's 2 dates. And then there's August, September, and October. The August show we just plugged. In September 7th, we have a. Thank you. There we go. Cheers. We have there's a show at Howler's. Another non-smoking show. I made sure to ask Mary Jo if it could be
Whoa.
non-smoking. I
You
know.
can do that?
She does it for very special purposes. I think that was my phone that just beeped.
No, I think it was my phone that beeped.
Oh,
It was
okay.
my phone that beeped. It's Stacy.
Oh.
It's Stacy. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Thanks
I
for
love you.
getting him to watch documentaries.
Yeah,
Stacey.
Stacy. You and E-Dog.
Oh, no. Let's be fucking clear. Stacy's not making me watch documentaries. I have watched every single episode of like Riverdale because of Stacy, Game of Thrones. What else? We're watching The Good Witch right now, which is the whitest fucking television show I have ever seen in my life. It's that
I
show.
don't know what that is.
That show is so fucking white. I cannot believe it's allowed to be on TV. Like that's how white it is. It's insane. It's insane, but it's very wholesome. It's a Hallmark production.
Oh, well,
Jesus.
That's, yeah.
And it's really
Okay.
funny. Speaking about Hallmark productions, I'm going to bring this up since we're talking about Stacy and everything. We were watching it last night, and we got to a point in the series where there's been this real heated sexual tension between 2 of the characters, right? And they kissed.
Oh
They-
my God.
They kissed, but it was just like a peck. You know what I mean? And the way they were acting about it, and all the other characters were acting about it, you would have think they like done some butt stuff or something like that.
So gross.
So now me and Stacy are calling just a kiss peck a Hallmark butt fuck.
Perfect.
That's the Hallmark butt
love
fuck.
that.
So,
While we're on that, I want to be clear. The butt stuff is not so disgusting. It's the fact that they made a little peck and then made something out of it on the Hallmark. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
You want to do butt stuff?
I mean, it was more than
a.
a peck. It was like it was like an extended just
Tongue?
lip. No tongue.
Closed-lipped
no
kiss.
tongue. Yeah, but yeah, the Hallmark butt fuck. So what's up with your show?
So we're doing a show called this is kind of ironic. It's called the Hallmark Butt Fuck. It's one okay. Well, because I'm actually going to plug something a little serious. This was in light of stuff that's been going on in the news, and I wanted to try to schedule an event that could do some good and not just like line our own pockets. I mean, by line our own pockets, $50, but there's a show September 7th at Howler's. That's going to be a benefit for Planned Parenthood that we're going to do. I actually talked to Brenda about this because she had done a show a while back, and I said, how do you go about donating money? And she told me it was really easy to set it up. So Brenda from Old Game, by the way, I should say, stress. Hi, Brenda. Thank you for that info you gave me. So it's going to be our band. It'll be Jess Klein and the Good Time. It'll be Honey Prism, and it'll be the Essential Machine. And so those 4 bands will get together, and all the money we make that night, we're just going to, at the end of the show, write a nice check and send it away. So, and then October, this is way off, but October 18th, that's kind of our last show of the season. We kind of take winter break off because of our families and such, and everyone's traveling. And
holiday shows are the fucking worst.
Jesse and I, our families are on the other side of the state, so it's kind of tough to schedule anything in and around the holidays. So our last show will be at the Funhouse, and that is with the Real C and Chet Vincent and the Big Band, and then our band, and that'll be our like see you later until next spring show. So
I think we have so after that, then we'll probably record some stuff over that break, and then hopefully have something out for the springtime again.
You guys are playing all these shows with all these cool bands, except for my fucking band.
Which no, and don't we haven't.
Yo, can we come on your fucking show? We don't want to play with your fucking band, but we'll come on and talk about all this other cool stuff we're doing.
That's exactly what I was just talking about right before the start of the show.
No, it's
so
cool.
we're playing a show of Sykes after this. None of you are invited. No. We were going to break dance on the show, but
no, it's cool. I'm glad that you guys have all that cool stuff going on. Those are all cool bands.
We're the other band that you're competing with at this.
we didn't want to say anything.
Yo, that would be such a plot twist. Netflix, buy this shit. Fuck.
What if we had like a theme song all about Sykes and it was like super happy and stuff, and we like look over to you and be like, fuck, here we go. Okay. I talk shit about them and they just made my theme song.
That's man. That's super fun. So, lots of cool stuff going on, lots of cool shows, lots of cool bands. Mm-hmm. I got to take some time to see a lot of cool bands this year at Deutschtown Music Festival.
Yeah. It was a blast.
How was everybody's Deutschtown Music Festival experience?
It was great. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
It was, we wound up playing on the street. So
at the government center?
Yeah. Which I didn't even know that was a thing that was happening. So like the long story short was that guy, whatever, that jackass that is in the north side, and the guy that caused trouble at James Street, and
for whatever reason he thought that we couldn't play indoors at the government center, so they put us outside.
He walked in,
which actually was a lot better.
Yeah, I was going to say it totally backfired because my thought was, well, then now he's going to call the cops to get a noise ordinance to shut that down on the street, but that didn't happen, and we wound up getting a huge crowd, like way bigger than probably we would have fit in the government center, because the government center is awesome space, but I was looking at it, I was like, we're going to be a little loud in here.
Close corners, yeah.
Yeah, like Crystal Lee Morgan played before us, and I was like, she would have been fantastic in there, and we would have went into the first song, and everyone would have, just volume level. But by the end of the show, we had a woman literally dancing.
Yeah, it was great
in front of us.
It was fun, and just walking around the shows too. I got to see BB Guns for the first time. They were awesome. I had listened to them, but I never got to see them. I saw them in the park stage.
Shout outs to BB Guns.
It was really
of the
cool.
show. They're one up on you. They've been on the show 4 times.
Damn you guys.
It's okay. You got time.
Yeah.
That's because we have 3 guys. It's harder to get here faster.
No, but that was so cool.
Yeah,
it was I don't know, it was like the perfect time too. It was like the park was really dark. There was a fire spitter and something else. That part might have been in my imagination, but
no, it was there.
Was it?
I saw it.
Yeah, it was cool. But that was great, and saw a lot of cool stuff. We still haven't figured out who that was that we walked past that was doing that weird thing with the telephone.
Oh yeah, he was singing into a telephone.
Yeah, that was kind of
like
he was doing like loops of stuff, and then he had a rotary telephone somehow hooked up to something.
To a microphone.
Yeah, it
and
was
then
really
playing
neat.
the violin in between vocals.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I'm not sure who that was, but I could probably find out for you.
Really cool.
Yeah.
There was somebody recently that messaged me on Facebook. I think his name was Mike, and he recently moved here from Pittsburgh, and he's like big on the vocal looping community. And I guess he was like asking me if I did any of that stuff because he's putting together events specifically for those kinds of things.
He moved here from Pittsburgh?
No, he's like from somewhere else, but he's in Pittsburgh now.
Oh, okay.
And I wonder if that was him or somebody associated with him.
I don't know.
So
Yeah, he was doing. It was violin looped.
Where was that? I must have
you
missed.
you weren't there yet.
Okay.
That was before you showed up. But yeah, I thought that was really neat. It was there was no stage. It was like in a tent.
Mm-hmm. Just sitting on the ground in a tent.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Playing the rotary telephone. And when he would
Right.
hang up the phone, that
song?
was part of the song.
Oh,
like it was
that's
like
so cool.
Like the click. Was
Yeah, he was
that
creating
good.
beats with like the clicks too. It was kind of
And
neat.
so he would just
I feel like
hang
this
it
is
up.
one of those moments where we'll be like, remember when we saw that guy and now he's
Who
playing
was he?
Yeah.
PPG Arena or
Yeah.
something.
yeah, that's fucking cool.
It was really cool though.
I wish I would have caught that. I got to Deutschtown a little bit late, as I've mentioned on the show before in some previous episodes, because Kenny would announce that same day they were
Yeah, it
opening
was
up
a
the
new
new roller
roller
coaster.
coaster.
So me and Stacy went
Steel
to
curtain.
Kennywood. It fucking,
Was it
right
good?
when they opened, and waited in line for 4 hours to ride this fucking ride.
Was it
Because
cool?
I'm a fucking psychopath. So I will say this. And I've said
90
it before.
seconds later, it was over.
I will say this. I've said it before. It's hard to justify waiting 4 hours in line for anything,
Yeah.
but it's a fantastic ride.
Cool.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to go back and not wait 4 hours to ride.
Yeah.
So go on a Tuesday, like,
Yeah, I am a season pass holder, so I will be going back at some point.
It's called the Steel Curtain, right?
It is the Steel Curtain, motherfucker. That's really what they wanted to name it. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
Steel curtain, motherfucker.
Oh, The Steel Curtain, motherfucker. I need a shirt that says that.
and it plays Renegade at top volume while you're no, I don't.
I've shamefully never been to Kennywood.
Are you
okay.
serious?
Yeah, I've been here.
I've only, you know what? I've only been twice, but
yeah, not been
theme
at
parks
all.
just aren't a thing for everybody.
They are. I really like them. I just haven't had a chance to.
You should go then.
I
if
was
you like
actually
them.
the one roller coaster that like goes from 0 to 60 and it goes like straight up and down.
It's Cedar Point?
What's that?
It's which one? It's Cedar Point.
No, at Kennywood. I was on that.
Oh, the Skyrocket.
Yeah, Skyrocket. I was
Yeah.
on that years ago when that earthquake happened.
Whoa.
Because we got on it and we got off of it, and they like the people. This was like summer of. I mean, it must have been 2009 or something like that, or it was a while ago. Whenever that minor hurricane, there was a hurricane, and I was on the roller coaster.
No, is that weird earthquake right there?
Yeah, it was because I remember we
It was
got
like
to-
2009 or 2010.
yeah, we got off the ride and people were like, get off, and we're just
Yeah.
like, dude, calm down. Like,
Yeah,
like
everything's
we
gonna
wanted
be
to go
fine.
again. It was awesome. And then like I noticed people were kind of like walking around. I'm like, what happened? And friends of ours they're like, an earthquake happened, like right as you guys went up. Like you guys took off and the ride started and everything started shaking.
Whoa.
I mean, shaking it was like a nothing or earthquake next to people who were in real earthquakes. But
Yeah.
Still weird.
we weren't,
That's fucking crazy.
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you're still here.
So we got
man.
done the ride. We're like, yeah. And everyone's like, get out. We're like, what?
I wonder if it was like there's like extra G forces or some scientific thing because of the earth shaking.
That would explain it.
Yeah, you had like a unique experience that nobody ever had on that
I don't
ride.
remember coming
Before
down that
or
fast
since.
before, but it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It went 0 to 63 in 5 seconds.
It felt like it skipped a track, but I must have been imagining that.
I haven't been on a good roller coaster in a long time.
Is it really good, Steel Curtain?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does it go
aside
like
from all
upside
the
down and stuff?
yeah, it's a world record. Has 9 inversions, motherfucker.
Are
you serious?
So we're totally going.
9 inversions. It's the tallest roller coaster in Pennsylvania. It has the tallest inversion in the world.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like 200 and something feet when
Oh,
you're
that's
upside
cool.
down.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's killer. It's a fucking
It's a legitimate
beast of a roller coaster. Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
it's
There's
killer.
Final Destination written all over
And
it.
it's Kennywood's really unique in the fact that now you can ride this like, very new top of the line world record breaking roller coaster. And Kennywood also has 2 of the top 5 oldest operating roller coasters
Do they really?
still in existence. Yeah, the
That's
Racer and the Jackrabbit.
Jackrabbit's the best.
Jackrabbit turns 100 years old this year.
Wow.
Really?
Or this year or next year, yeah. And it's still working.
That's awesome. That's cool. I need
Yeah,
to go.
it's a really really cool park.
Yeah.
It's
There we
definitely
go.
worth going to. It's one of those things that where I feel sometimes you get that wanderlust for places and going to places that are outside of your city, and like there will be places maybe like Kennywood where you've never gone. It's right there,
Yeah. Right.
15 minutes away. You just get used to it kind of being there, and then you overlook it.
Yeah. Oh, that's super
you'll-
easy to do.
But then like you get out of me and Stacy catch ourselves doing this where like we'll plan to book some trip that we got to 6-7 hours away.
right.
But
And
it's
you
like
could have
there's
done
stuff
all
that-
the things.
There's stuff that's really similar that's here that we've never done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you're going on a trip, it's not just about it's the whole event. It's the getting ready to go. It's the going.
Mhm.
that's what makes a going away fun, because it's away.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can get lost in the city.
Yeah, you can.
Actually, me and Stacy did a thing for our anniversary this year where we just like made a list of stuff in Pittsburgh that we had never done and did all that stuff. And it was cool. Like, it's like, there's definitely a lot of stuff that, at least from my experience, that we were able to do. And I didn't even feel like I was in Pittsburgh.
What was your favorite thing that you did that was unique?
I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'll let you know. But one point that I do want to bring up, getting back into music and the scene and conversations, I had something happen last night, actually, that I want to bring up because it's the first time it's ever happened to me. And that was, we had a show that was a 21 plus show, but 21 plus wasn't put on the flyer.
Oh.
And somebody underage actually tried to come to the show because they wanted to see us, and they got turned away. And that has never happened to me. And I was like, whoa, are young people listening to music again? What's going on? Or is it just like a circumstance?
Well, I hope it's.
I mean, it's definitely a circumstance, but I also hope that it's someone who just has maybe caught the podcast or saw you guys somewhere at an all ages show.
You want to know if it's more of like an actual trend that's happening?
Yeah, I just felt bad because
where was the venue?
It was at the new Black Forge.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was maybe part of the reason why it got overlooked.
Right.
Or it wasn't thought about.
Yeah,
you know? Like, I didn't have anything to do with the flyer or anything.
Sure.
But it definitely
It's
wasn't
at the new space. Is it McKees Rocks?
Yeah, McKees Rocks. Yeah.
Cool.
Killer spot.
Yeah, I have to check it out.
They did a really good job.
Good. That's awesome.
Sounds good. Looks good. Everybody there is really nice. Hell yeah. Noise for Black Forge Coffee House.
Would love to play a show there. I just don't know. I've hesitated actually contacting them because we're like poppy and like, well, I mean, like we're garage poppy, but
they do everything there.
Oh, they do everything, really?
Yeah, they do everything.
I mean, I wasn't saying that they would say no, but I just was like, I also wouldn't want to book us and 5 people show up,
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's hard. I think that there are definitely venues that are unintentionally genre focused.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You know, like it's just, and definitely with Black Forge, it's like, okay, yeah, definitely. It's like metal,
hard rock,
metal, hardcore, dark electronic stuff. Like, you get it.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And like, I think that it's good to see like those bands do well there. Like, I hate seeing metal shows at Kativo.
Why?
It's just weird. I think
it just feels
weird. Yeah, it just feels weird. It looks weird. It doesn't seem right. There's something about it, like the aesthetics off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like,
I could see that. Yeah.
Seeing like an indie rock show there or something like that.
Makes
it
sense.
Fits. I don't know, but I also overanalyze fucking everything.
Well, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's fine.
A couple venues like Spirit, I think, has been pretty good at like not being genre based, as it were, because I've seen all kinds of weird shows there. Like,
there's also nothing entirely wrong with being genre based as a venue. Like you said, I mean, if it fits in the aesthetic,
yeah,
makes for a better show.
Yeah, to like book a 6-piece heavy metal band in like what is normally an acoustic coffee house, that would be a terrible idea.
Yeah, like a metal band at Club Cafe.
Oh, it would be weird.
Well.
Maybe. You know what? We've seen some, Jesse and I saw
Jeff the Brotherhood
played Club Cafe.
That was awesome.
And it was
a smoke machine. That was the first smoke machine I saw at Club Cafe.
What was it was the
first and only.
It was a local band who is now defunct, but who opened for them?
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
they were cool too.
They were really good. And then Diarrhea Planet played after them.
Yeah,
who are amazing.
Where are they from?
Diarrhea Planet.
Yeah,
they broke up because I started following them on. I forget where. I feel like I want to say they're from this.
I thought there was like Ohio or something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like they were based out of like the Midwest.
Yeah.
And there were like 6 guys on stage, and like I think
not at all what you would.
4 of them were playing guitar, and they were joking about, our other guitar player's not here.
It's gonna sound weird.
I was talking to them afterwards, and I was like, that was funny. He's like, no, we're serious. There's 5 of us that play guitar in this band normally, and it's like 1 bass player and 1 drummer, but they were so good live.
It was really cool,
and it was super fucking loud. And I was like, this is weird seeing like a guitar player jump off stage, and he was like on the crowd playing.
It was also really cool to see such a huge band, open up for a 2-piece band, and the 2-piece band. I mean,
Jeff the Brotherhood. They're 2 guys.
There's 2 dudes, and I mean, it sounds huge.
But they had 4. They had 4 guys that night. Remember?
Did they?
Yeah, they had.
That's right. Yeah,
they had 2 other guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the Jeff the Brotherhood guys were off somewhere, and then I talked to the other 2 band members in their band, and I was like, "Hey, when are you guys come back?" They're like, "I don't know." I was like, nice chatting with you. And then like Diarrhea Planet was like, you want a drink? We're like, yes. So they were really fun.
That's always amazing. Like bands that could sound so big
I know, with like nothing.
Just three people or two people. I don't think it's more than just volume.
Yeah,
like Pennywise, for example, as one guitar player and kills it. Fletcher kills it. And he's a big dude, but what is it? What's the secret to sound? I think we sound pretty full for a 3-piece.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anytime we have a fourth person on stage, it sounds like just a fucking wall of sound.
Yeah.
I love it. I love how big we sound. Like the three of us. And I love when someone comes up and joins us because it's just like just cranking everything way too overdrive.
I think that there's, tricks that you can do. Like if you're playing smaller venues and you have one guitar player, but you're running multiple cabs on both sides of the stage.
Right.
So you're
you can do that and fill it out
you're filling out the room and things like that. And I think in general, just being a good songwriter and understanding that I am one guitar player writing a song for one guitar player, and let's make this.
Yeah. I've never written a song with two guitar players in mind. So that would be a different sort of.
And being really tight helps. It helps.
Yeah.
That really fills it.
Yeah.
Like when you're just
there's definitely like technical things that you could do just to make the sound bigger. Just like as a guitar player, the way you set your amps, all that other fun stuff.
I've been that.
And then there's just like dynamic things you can do as a band that fill out that sound.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I mean, you have to obviously know how to write songs. You got to perform them well, and I think just knowing no matter what type of a space you're walking into, understanding the room, having a very bottom level understanding of acoustics and how sounds bounce around, and look at the stage, look at the gear they have, the PA, and figure out, okay, like maybe we may not normally set the amps this far forward, but
we're gonna do that
let's
here.
deal with this room let's see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like they're not miking the cabs, and they like whatever.
When you need
shit.
stage volume loud, when you need it pulled back so the sound guy can actually
or like weird shit like, the stage at Howlers is a little bit taller than some other stages, so maybe I shouldn't put my twin reverb on a chair tonight. Like,
there's no need to do
all that kind of dumb shit.
Your amplifier's already at ear level.
So that's the kind of stuff that I think sometimes people, I won't say they don't overlook it. Maybe some people just don't think about it. And sometimes if it's more on like a local, I don't want to say local, but like independent DIY level bands that just haven't played enough shows to even get to the point of realizing that that's a thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're playing a live show, you're thinking about a lot of things. Probably the first thing is just making sure that you remember all the parts, right? Making sure you know how to play the song. Lyrics. But yeah, the lyrics. Those are hard to remember. But once you get that down, you feel comfortable doing that, then you can think about all those other things that make a show worth watching, not just people up there practicing.
Absolutely. So
I was about to say I was that annoying drummer for a while where I was like, Jesse, have you tried this pedal? Like I was looking at all these, like I got really like I started a deep dive into Mudhoney like about a year and a half ago, like having not listened to them for a while, and I was just like, not even the Big Fuzz. I was like doing all, and I kept messaging him like every other day, like maybe we should try this so we could just blow the audience out. Like, and I'm going to buy a 24-inch kick now and use this all metal snare. And Ben, how have you looked at this cab? And Cav, calm down. Like, I just wanted us to be like,
it's totally understandable. So. But you can't hate on passion. Passion's great. No, it's what keeps the train a rolling.
I think I did recommend one pedal. You're like, I have that, Kev. I've been using like that. It's not like it was like the one.
It's in a different box. It's the Big Muff, but for whatever reason, the one that I use is just in a different box, and he didn't know that.
I didn't know that
because he's not a guitar player.
Yeah, fair enough. So, do we want some refills?
Yeah.
You guys?
I'm good.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab the growler, and while I'm doing that, why don't you tell the internet where they can find Los Vampiros Amarillos?
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, you can find us on Facebook at Los Vampiros Amarillos. We're on Instagram. We have a Twitter account Twitter is at Los Vampiros, and we're on Spotify too. So make sure you listen to the album on that.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know we had a Twitter account until just now.
Yep. It's at Los _Vampiros. Not too much activity on there, but
we need to start a Twitter war with somebody. Yeah. And by Twitter war, I mean we need to like tease friends of ours until they, we're pretty good about like plugging our friends' shows and.
Oh yeah.
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 If we see a show that we like. And we Bandcamp, we've already said too. Yeah.
Yeah, Bandcamp. You can find us on Bandcamp as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cheers.
The album is available anywhere you want to hear music. So check it out.
So Ben, to answer your question just from a little bit before, I think there was two things that really stuck out about my anniversary weekend with Stacy.
Okay.
The one place was we went to Pie for Breakfast in Oakland. Have you been there?
No. That sounds
Pie for breakfast?
There's a place called Pie
Sold.
for Breakfast. It's in Oakland, and it's fucking awesome. It's exactly what I'm good right now.
No, the cap.
Oh, the cap. Sorry,
So we don't have to spill.
I'm a fucking turd. So yeah, there's a place called Pie for Breakfast. It's in Oakland, and I will say real quick. I guess I'll do this. You got to eat this. Pie for breakfast.
I love
in
that
Oakland.
sound effect so much. I heard that on the sound effect for Liveberg. I was walking down the street towards the beginning of my one mail route and I dropped the mail. I was laughing so hard. That was so good.
So they're in Oakland, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like a breakfast brunch spot. They have pie. I had like the most insanely large piece of quiche I've ever had in my life there. God. But the other cool thing about that place is they have like cocktails, full bar menu and stuff like that. Like
That's awesome.
during brunch. So you can
Where is this in Oakland?
It's on, it's like in the back. I'm not good at like what is North Oakland or South Oakland or anything like that.
In terms of
guess
relation to like the college.
I guess it would be whatever street, like, do you know, not when Brave New World was on Bates, but it was on
North
the other
Craig.
street, North Craig. You just keep going up North Craig, like towards Polish Hill.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it's eventually on your right.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
I think it's right next to, I think there's a place, it's one of those fancy restaurants like Legume or something
I know
like
exactly
that.
where this place
it's
is
right
now.
there on the corner. It's called Pie for Breakfast, and it's fucking awesome. So if you haven't been there, you got to be there and you got to eat it. So that's my suggestion for that. And it was fucking tight. And that was really cool because it was like one of those places that didn't feel like Pittsburgh when we were in there.
Sure.
You know, and the other thing that really stood out about that whole trip was we made a giant blanket fort in the living room that we like slept in all weekend.
Yeah, love it.
And
that is incredibly romantic.
It was
I'm
really
not even
nice.
kidding.
It was really nice. So
I just want to go on record real quick, by the way, and say if this falls through, this band, I definitely want to be your sound guy. Like,
okay.
I definitely want to do this.
You got it. The job is yours.
Can I plug a sandwich real quick?
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
We're all about plucking sandwiches.
There's a restaurant in Fallowfield, which is nothing like Pittsburgh because it's not Pittsburgh. It's Fallowfield. It was a chicken sandwich on waffles between two waffles.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Tap Factory. If you're ever out of Pittsburgh, south of Pittsburgh,
What's it called again?
the restaurant?
Yeah.
Tap Factory.
Tap
Factory.
Factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fried chicken. Fried chicken
between two waffles.
Love it.
Bacon.
Syrup on the waffles?
I think there's a little bit
A little
because
bit
it's
of
sweet.
It's like,
Yeah.
Oh shit! You know what? I need to do one more. You got to eat this. So Tap Factory,
Tap
Fallowfield,
Factory.
you got to eat it. And one more of these fucking things. Like I mentioned last night, we played at the new Black Forge Coffee House in McKees Rocks. It's right across the street from Subs and Suds. Which I have never been to Subs and Suds, and it's the only place to really eat around there. So me and Stacy went across the street and got hoagies, and I am not fucking shitting you. It was one of the best hoagies I've ever had in my fucking life.
a good hero is all you need.
Fucking real.
Yeah.
And like the people there were so fucking nice, super down to earth, cheap as hell, really good. So yeah, Subs and Suds. I never expected it, but fuck, you got to eat it. And it was one of those things where I was telling people about it, and they're like, "You've never been there? That place is great." I'm like, "Why the fuck would I have ever gone in there?"
You seriously could do like a food tour of this city, like bring people in from out of town, and just like every night you're gonna like, what do you want to do? Ideally, like, do you want subs? Do you want Italian? And just like, I think it'd be so awesome. And then like intersplice that with like some shows or something like that. It'd be super sweet.
It was like,
I don't know.
I was actually having.
You're gonna go see a concert at Black Forge Coffee. You're gonna get some killer espresso, and after you're done, Subs and Suds.
I was having a conversation last night. There was actually somebody at the show last night. Shout outs to my new friend Ada from Astoria, New York, who's an older female that's been living in New York City her whole life. And she's thinking about moving to Pittsburgh.
She should move to Pittsburgh.
And she was super cool. We were just chatting, shooting the shit, and she was like talking about we were talking about how cool it is, like how diverse all of the different kinds of food that you can get in Pittsburgh is.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all the details of the conversation because beer, but she was really nice. So shout outs to her. And
It's one of those best. It's like one of the best kept secrets of the city is like pretty decent amount of really awesome food.
Totally.
Yeah. I was chatting with someone like a Lyft driver who just moved from New York, and it was like I was having this. The whole conversation was about, you should relocate here permanently. You should. She was like, here just for the summer. I said, by the way, when you go back to wherever you go, don't tell them about why you're leaving because they'll all move here next. It's like we don't
tell them about.
For a while, it was like Pittsburgh's the new Brooklyn. I'm like, no, fuck, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it by making it cool. It's never gonna be cool. It's always gonna kind of be what it is. So it's fine.
I'm still stuck on those chicken and waffles.
Oh man,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is a question. All right. So one more food talk.
Yes, please.
So I apologize to anybody that's a repeat listener of the show, but I have not had this conversation with my boys over here. So,
yes,
Los Vampiros Amarillos just played a gig, fucking ripped it. Do you guys have a post-show place where you like to grab food or drinks together as a unit, as adult friends?
Where did we just play the show?
No, he's talking about generally speaking.
Generally.
Because I would say it would depend on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We've
not done that.
We haven't done that in so long just because Ben has a hour ride south and Jesse and I have kids. I mean, they're all asleep by the time we're done a show anyway, but we always kind of feel this, you know what? Fuck you, dude.
You fucking guys are breaking my heart.
We're not,
we usually
not that kind of
honestly, we're punctual.
I'm not saying party, but you fucking guys can go to Permanis together or something.
No, we
Give me a
don't.
break.
We actually don't ever eat together.
Wow.
We did this winter. What's the bar down the street from your place?
Saloon. Kane's Saloon.
We went to Kane's. That was fun.
Actually, we went to Kane's Saloon before we did this podcast. What the fuck?
That's right.
I just remembered that.
That's right. Kane's Saloon.
That was the last time we ate. We ate together as a band.
No, that wasn't at Kane's. That was at Jameson's.
Jameson's. That's right. It was Jameson's.
Mm-hmm.
So we had. I just think I unplugged myself.
You can
Jameson's and Dormont.
Here, I'll fix that. You tell the people about this. I'm gonna crawl under the table and blow all these dudes. Hold on.
I'm gonna crawl under the table too.
Yeah, we were at it was Jameson's, right? Yeah, I got a club sandwich. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't remember what I got there.
We got the same thing because like nerds, you said.
Yeah,
I remember this.
Was it a Sunday?
This is how nerdy this is. You ordered whatever, and I was like kind of on the fence. I'm like, you know what? That sounds good. I'm gonna have
I'll
that.
just have that.
And Ben was like, I'll have what they're having. And
yeah.
It's just like,
so we don't eat together often.
We just
but when we do, we order the same thing.
That's cool. I think
which is something we can't remember.
So
it was completely forgettable.
I guess I know.
If it was Club Cafe, I would say the taco place. That's my
Dose?
God. Yes. Because I always forget their name, but they're 2 blocks up on the right, and I always go there before Club Cafe because I think 2 years ago we played a show there and I thought, I'm just going to get pizza. I went down to Domino's and ordered a small whatever.
That's so sad.
It's 25 minutes later, it was still not ready. And I was ready to walk out and they just gave me something else. And then my wife was like, why don't you go to the new taco place? I was like, I have no idea. So we went there. Her and I went there a week later. So now I always go there before Club Cafe shows.
Fair enough.
I'd go there after Club Cafe shows.
It seems like the three of you are good friends.
Yeah.
And I think that you don't need that bonding experience. I think you're handling it, but I do think it's really important for bands to hang out outside of just practicing and shows. Do you guys ever
we need to
get the chance to hang out?
We've been pretty
crazy.
We've been pretty bad about it especially since my son was born, because I'm usually the instigator of let's. And I got a night out. And I'll just buy 3 tickets to whatever. Jesse and I have seen a bunch of shows together. And then as the 3 of us, when we play a show, especially at a Deutschtown or a Rant Festival or whatever, we'll then call it okay, we're here for the night. Let's go see this band. Let's go see this band. And
totally.
We'll do that. But outside of rehearsals and stuff, I mean, it's just because our lives are they're really busy with
and a lot of times if I sneak out and not sneak out, but go out for the evening, I mean, a lot of times
rope ladder down.
Yeah. It is mostly by myself. I go to a lot of shows just kind of alone.
Yeah, I've seen
he goes to the
shows.
Jesse goes to the most shows of all of us now.
I think that apparel, a problem of the aging musician, if you will, is that it's so hard now to make time for anything besides, family and work.
Yeah.
But I think that it's also important to remember that the band can be part of a family and part of work, depending on how you're looking at it. Yeah. And I think it's just like shifting priorities and focus and just finding a way to,
Today's one of those days where it's like a 6-hour day with the band. Like we come in here, we'll hang out, we'll go maybe grab a bite to eat or something and then go to rehearsal and hang out for a little bit. And then we'll head home. I mean, like my job is weird because I deliver mail on Saturdays, 5 weekends out of the month. But like today is funny because today's like my Friday. So what these guys are getting up and going to work tomorrow, my son and I are going to be like chilling out at home and it's Sesame Street and then the pool. So it's like it's weird. I can go see shows occasionally on a random Tuesday because I know I don't have to wake up the next day at like 5:30.
Yeah.
So I try to get out. I mean, I have to just right here. I have to say I've always wanted to like. I explain to our friends, it's tough being a dad, but like there are a lot of nights where like I miss him. And it's like, I've seen this band 3 times and I love them and they're really good friends of ours, but I'm like, I really want to be at home and watch a show. It's like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I love it. And plus like at some point he'll be like, yeah, Dad, go ahead. Like, go. You sure you don't want to come, buddy? It's all right. No. All right.
Yeah.
So,
where did I bump into you? I bumped into you at Get Hip, right?
Maybe at Get Hip. Yeah, I don't remember.
You were running sound or something.
There's been 1 or 2 times when I've seen you at shows and you've kind of ghosted me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional, but I'm just going to call you out on it anyways.
Yeah. Well, usually when I'm out and I'm by myself, it's a little intentional.
Yeah, I saw you somewhere. I think it may have been at Spirit.
Oh, really?
And you were like lurking around and I was just kind of like, you were talking to some other people and I was going to be like, hey, what's up?
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
And then like you just kind of walked away. I was like, all right, go fuck
Would
myself.
You guys say I'm the social?
No, it's fine.
Am I the social?
It's dark in there.
Yeah.
And like, I understand.
Sure I didn't see you.
I think I'm the social butterfly.
I just like picking on people.
Band.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm the guy walking around talking to like 15 people at once. Well, like half of the set of the band we came to see is going on. And I'm like, and you guys are like, I come back, I'm like, so we're playing with the so-and-so now, and they want us to play a show.
Yeah.
And Jesse's like, awesome. Did you see this band? I saw the last 4 songs. They were really good.
Yeah.
So that's like, and plus like, I don't go out that much. So when I go out, it's like, another round, let's all, so I'm a little crazy.
That's what something I've been trying to do with Grey Walker and just in general is this concept of doing more get-together type stuff, just like bullshit cookouts and things for bands rather than like, oh, let's have a show and then let's all hang out so we can not pay attention to each other when we're playing music, lug all our gear across town and not pay attention to each other and then just talk outside in the parking lot. Yeah. Why don't we just do something when we just fucking hang out in the parking lot? Fuck the gear.
It's not a bad idea.
And hang out.
I remember Questlove years ago said this interview where like, because someone was saying the cohesiveness of the Roots and how well they seem to just ebb and flow on stage. He's like, because we used to have band night where we wouldn't rehearse. Like we already rehearsed on Tuesday, but like Wednesday night is like, even if you're not in the mood, you're going to come here and sit and watch this movie with so-and-so, or we're going to throw darts, or we're going to do something just so we're like in the same room. And he's like, it started becoming a thing where like we would look forward to like all getting together and someone would cook some food and we'd just sit around and be like, hey, did you read that magazine article or whatever? It was just them being close to each other. So they'd have a better artistic kind of communication in terms of stepping on each other's toes. If like someone didn't like a musical idea, they don't take it personally because they've gotten to know that person better.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good thing too.
I think it's really important for bands to be on that level and understand what's going on. So if somebody walks into practice like in a shitty mood or something's going on, instead of being like, "What's going on with fucking Ben?"
We do that.
It's like we know what's going on because like outside of just being bandmates, like we're actual friends.
I walked in and said, I've had a fucking miserable day and I love you both, but I'm sorry if I'm not in a like shit mood right now. I'm just, because I've done that once or twice.
Transparency is really important. Yeah. I think no matter what's going on.
And this guy is like, whatever, man. It's great. So like the 1 or 2 times I've seen Jesse in a bad mood, I'm like, oh no.
Probably leave him alone.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So speaking of transparency and talking about things, Kevin, I feel like whenever you had reached out about coming on to the show, it seemed like you had some things on your chest that you wanted to get into. All right. So I don't know if you still have some things that you want to touch on, but I do think that now might be a good time to get into some of that spicy content.
I called the guy who took care of it, so we don't need to no.
Okay.
No, I was that you. I called. I texted him one day in kind of a like politically. I took a really deep dive for the last like couple of weeks, especially with the stuff going on the border. It's a bit of a touchy subject sometimes. And I've had lots of, I read an article, I find it interesting. I post it on Facebook and like, there's like 5 or 6 of the same trolls that always pop up and always have some negative shit. And 9 times out of 10, I just lean back and let my friends demolish them.
Sure.
Okay. But, this article popped up and it was about the children being taken away from parents, and I posted it, and it was like people were arguing for this side and that side. And I was just like, I was kind of losing my mind.
Bro,
I was on my route. And I was getting so angry. This probably coincides with the day that I also broke the door off my truck because I was just like, I was just like
hulked out.
I hulked out, and it's just exactly. I don't know. I started thinking about this Joe Rogan podcast of all the podcasts in the world, because I remember this thing that Henry Rollins said. This is how my mind works. I was angry about what's going on in the world, feeling helpless about it, and feeling like I wanted to do more, but I don't know how to do more, because shy of quitting my job and buying a bunch of fucking wire cutters and getting 20 guys together and going down there and cutting fences open and getting people food and water. Like, what the fuck do you do? And a lot of that came from the fact that I wanted to do the Planned Parenthood show, but I just remember this end of this Joe Rogan interview. He was interviewing Henry Rollins, where Henry Rollins was like, instead of getting angry about it, and instead of like saying damn this and damn that, try to think of solutions of ways to help people. Present 3 solutions that you think can be better, because he's like, we're at this place in our society, like, people of color are on the chopping block, like if they haven't been already. Like I'm kind of misquoting him right now, but he was like listing all these things, like our LGBTQ friends they need all the help that they can get. Planned Parenthood, ACLU, they're all like on the chopping block. And he's like, I actually get excited about this kind of stuff, not in a positive way that these negative things are happening, but he's like, what we say matters, what we do matters, words matter, actions matter. He's like, we're being tested. I love a test, so let's get it on. So like, let's stop fucking around. Let's do more benefit shows. Let's do more of this. Let's do more of that. And I was like looking at our scene, and I was like, collectively, if we got a Pittsburgh Live Aid, not really, but like, I was like, fuck, like all this stuff that is going on, like what can you actually do? And in my mind, I'm like, we're going to get 20 fucking bands together, and we're going to rent out these 3 venues, and all the money's going to this one organization. And I was just in a rage, because I was jumping out of my skin that day. It was like so much negativity, and I just didn't know what to do about it. And I texted him, I'm like, the fucking gloves are coming off on your show, man. I'm fucking calling everybody out. Like, get together, assholes. We're giving all the money away to somebody that needs it, and fuck all to your fucking, we need to make money for it. No. And I was like going crazy. And then I text back an hour later. I'm like, I should probably plug our shows first, and probably not run off half cocked. But that's like that's how I get. I don't know. I mean,
it's really tricky.
Sorry for that rant. It's just overwhelming when you see all this stuff, and it's like these people that, whether it's people from another country that are running from their country that's falling apart, or whether it's women's rights, or whether it's friends of ours who are gay and they're not being represented properly, and I fucking can't stand it. So, and I also feel helpless. So it's kind of like, I'll organize a show. I'll put 4 bands together. We'll give all the money away to someone, and maybe that'll do some good. So yeah, sorry. That was what that rant was all about.
Oh, okay. That was actually like way more wholesome. I thought we were going to be doing some hot gossip or something. But that's fine.
This guitar player of this band fucking sucks. Yeah, no. It wasn't going to be damn this band or damn the scene. Or
because when you were like, the gloves are coming off, I'm like, God damn. And it was like the day after Deutschtown too. So I was like, man, something must have fucking happened.
No.
I was like, fucking Hugh, he's coming for you.
I love Hugh. Hugh and I were several beers in at the end of the night. We saw each other at the Elks Club. I was like, I love you, brother. He's like, love you too, man. And like, I probably doesn't remember that, but I was just like, this is so awesome, man. Thank you so much. Like, I don't know how the fuck you guys do all this work.
I think it's crazy that it's like 3 dudes that put it together.
Yeah.
Doing it. It's pretty cool.
My personal opinion is that it shows.
Yeah.
That 3 people are putting it together.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That thing's hanging by a fucking thread, but you know, think? Whatever. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of shit that I think that if they, and I said this before, I think on last week's episode, that if they just scaled it back, I feel like it's a numbers game at this point. You know what I mean? Like, we have fucking 300 bands on 30 stages. And then like day of, it's like half the fucking stage is bailed and we got to rearrange all this stuff. It's like,
you're always going to have
like
those weird problems.
If you just, I feel like if you scaled it back, 200 bands, 20 stages, reliable venues, it's like nobody fucking cares that there's that many bands. Actually, like something that's reliable enough that you can print out a dedicated map and hand it to people, or have like a little app on a phone or something that lets people know what's going on. You know, you're going to split it up into 2 days. How about you do one side of North Side on one day and the other side on the other day, so people have to walk back and forth between those bridges?
Yeah.
I could keep going on, but those are just my personal views. And like, what the fuck have I done? Nothing.
Well, there are 3 guys that have like a huge staff too. That does it. It's not just them. You know, I will say, like in their defense, like certainly for our venue, that guy that like walked into the government center and shut him down is the same fucking guy. That was Saturday. So Monday I go in and a buddy of mine, we're all mail carriers in the North Side. He's like, yeah, I was going to come and see your show. I said that. I was like, yeah. He's like, government center is pretty cool. I was like, yeah, we were playing on the street, and I told him why. And another carrier is like, I'm not going to say the guy's name on your show because I know who he is. He lives on the North Side. He owns a business on the North Side. He was like, is it this guy? I was like, I think it was that guy. He's like, yeah, that fucking guy walks up and down the street like 2 days before Deutschtown, and he's taking pictures of his neighbors' houses. And this is, my buddy's a mail carrier. His parents live just off of East Ohio Street, and then he has an aunt that lives on James Street. He walked up to the guy. He's like, yeah, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? The guy like took a photo of him, like right up in his face, and walked away. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And then his aunt gets a notice from the city that she's getting cited $800 to fix like 3 cracked bricks that are like in front of her sidewalk. Like the whole sidewalk is cobblestone.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's not an actual problem, but the city knows that these are technically things that you should have kind of not. So like, yeah. So this guy's just basically a piece of shit that has like a hard on for fucking ruining everyone's lives on that. Like, it's like my neighborhood, and if it doesn't go the way I want to do it, fuck you guys. And like, I feel like that's what his whole deal is. It's just all negativity, and it's, you know, whereas like, you know, the guys, Cody and Hugh, and those guys that run Deutschtown, they're trying to like make I feel like they're trying to make the neighborhood come alive for a weekend and show everybody how much there is going on there and all the different venues and different businesses. And this guy is like, fuck you, I want it to be quiet.
It's like, you know,
it's not your decision to make, dude.
To be completely fair to them, I understand I've helped organize just single day festivals, and I understand how much of a headache it is getting everything together to do it. And I do, all things considered, nothing's burned down, and they've done it for what, 8-9 years now at this point?
7 years.
7, okay. But, so yeah, I mean, like, there's no beef. There's just definitely like,
that you feel like
there's like critiques of things that I think I think could be better for next year. Yeah. And, you know, I know that some of these people are aware of who I am and this thing. And if you're listening, I'd be happy to help.
Why did you just make that face when you said that?
I don't know. It's just a face I make.
I will say I wish they like started at 7 on Friday rather than like 5. I was getting done my route and back at the office, and like my phone's like,
but I'll tell you this,
telling me that like bands already started at 5 o'clock on Friday.
They wouldn't have to start at 5 if they didn't have 300 fucking bands.
Well, that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like, you can make it if you just scaled it down a bit. Like, it's big. Nobody's gonna notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. Like, the festival they could stand to lose a few pounds, if you know what I mean, and be a little bit slimmer.
I could stand to lose a few pounds myself.
Hey, this beer's not helping anything.
Yeah.
Does anybody need refills? Is that growler still in here? Or did I take the growler back? You need some, Ben?
I'm good.
You're good? Everybody's good? Cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just shout outs to Northside. Allegheny City Brewing. I've been. This has been and the really funny thing is that this just keeps showing up in all the podcasts, even though all the beer's been from Penn, but it's totally fine. They're friends. Northside. That's all.
It was delicious. Whatever that IPA was really good.
Yeah, that was their session IPA, which is not on tap anymore downstairs. That growler was from Tuesday, but now that's the Penn Gold, which is also good. It's award winning.
Whoa,
I can see why. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. I've never won an award.
No?
You
I doubt that.
You didn't win any city paper awards. No. The illustrious best of Pittsburgh City Paper Awards.
Nope, we never won.
The day we win an award is when we should break up.
Yeah,
we really should.
Done.
I think Jesse lost to Clinton Clegg in that award. I could be wrong though.
Might have.
Were you up against him for something?
No,
this is a bad joke. Oh, okay.
Just a bad joke.
Oh, okay.
I love Clinton Clegg.
He came out.
Shout outs to Clinton. You never responded to my fucking message about being on the show.
You know, I will say this. He came to see our Elvis Costello tribute set at Trip Fest.
Oh, cool.
And he was like, it was good. I don't know any Elvis Costello. And I was like, well, help me because I don't know. What was the tribute band that was playing at the time? They were doing oh God, I'm going to forget the name now. I can't even remember the name of the band that's playing. But anyway, he and I were exchanging. I'd only had one conversation with him before. I was all like, I don't know who this guy is. And he was like, Kev, good job. I'm like, I didn't even know you knew who I was, dude. So I was telling him, buy this Elvis Costello album. And
they're touring the whole country this
summer.
They're
fucking playing everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Common Herd are playing all over the place.
Yeah, when I met that dude.
Telluride Festival or something like that. But anyway, back to Sykes' beef with
dude, he's a total sweetheart. He came. No. I only talked to him and met him one time. He just showed up at the Grey Walker album release show of all places.
Cool.
And I ran into him at the end of the night, and he came up to me and he was talking to me. He's like, "You guys are awesome." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "I know who you are." And he was like, "Yeah, he was like, you might." I forget what he said because it was a year ago at this point. But he was talking about how he some band, I want to say it was he was talking about how he grew up liking Pantera and all this stuff and how he has all this metal in him.
Yeah, he talked about some weird influences that it was Snoop Dogg and metal. And I'm like, you're in an 11-piece soul band, but that's cool though.
But I was like, dude, it's awesome talking to you. And I was like, dude, got to get you on the podcast. Would love to chat with you. Send him a message. He never hit me back. That's okay though.
Because he's on tour.
That boy's busy.
He's busy. Steely Dan. So yeah, the Steely Dan tribute band was playing.
That was really good.
He was like, I don't know any Elvis Costello. And I was like, and I sent him this lengthy nerd message, start with these albums. And then there's and I was like
you, yeah.
He's literally written operas and he's written country records. And then I was like, tell me some Steely Dan to listen to.
Yeah, that's a band I've never gotten into.
What I heard on stage, I liked, and I recognized all these songs. I'm like, oh, that's Steely Dan. I didn't know who I'd heard these songs on radio growing up as a kid, but I didn't know that was Steely Dan.
I had someone drunkenly yell at me for not liking Steely or not knowing anything about Steely Dan.
At that show?
No. Just.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Nice Elvis Costello said, fuck you.
No.
I always find it very obnoxious when you aren't aware of something or you're not a fan of something.
Right.
And then people have to project their thing onto you as if you're offending them.
That's exactly what happened.
It's so weird.
It's very weird.
There's only so much music in the world. I can't hear every song.
There's so many hours in the day.
And if I don't like something, I just don't fucking like it.
It's not even that I
you can't like it.
I think the conversation was, I think I was saying put this radio station on, and Steely Dan came on. They're like, oh, do you like this? I was like, I don't really know it. And then he got all offended. How could you know? What do you mean you don't know them? I don't know them. That's not my bag.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. I don't know why people do that, but it's just...
I have to be honest. I've had one or two heated discussions about The Who in a similar fashion.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see you being like that.
I'm a huge Who fan, and someone tried to claim they were a bigger Who fan than me, and
that's different.
I started getting almost personal.
That's a lot different. That's fine. Having some sort of weird competition with somebody else about being a bigger fan of a thing.
Oh no, because it started out as being fun, and then he ramped it up. I'm like, oh, we're getting serious. Okay,
well, yeah, well that gets weird, but that's I'm assuming that was just booze talking at that point.
No, this was pure ego.
Never mind. Never mind.
I also had like 7 years on this person, so I pointed out like when you were in elementary school, I was already listening to this band, so I've seen them X amount of times.
Yeah, I think those conversations could be fine, but pretending to be offended that someone doesn't care about a thing that you care about is weird. That's weird. That's a weird thing to do.
Like they were flat out like, what do you mean you don't like Steely Dan? Fuck you.
Yeah, and Steely Dan, that's a weird...
Yeah, it is a weird...
It is also like a weird thing.
I don't imagine Steely Dan fans being that passionate enough to...
I know.
Like Maiden fans would be like, you fucking don't like Maiden? Like, I could see them getting crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely people that I know that aren't familiar with Maiden that I think, totally should be.
Yeah.
But they're just not, and that's fine. What the fuck? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. No skin off my back.
Yeah. But then there's also that argument, like if you're making music that seems directly influenced by a thing, and then you don't really.
Well, that's like the Greta Van Fleet argument, right?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Greta Van Shite, as I call them.
Yeah, that would be like that, or like if you're like a straight up blues band and you don't.
That was actually
pretend like you don't know any.
So there's this thing that I have with Greta Van Fleet, and it bugs me on a topic that I don't think anybody has really brought up in regards to Greta Van Fleet. So I think in terms of age, Greta Van Fleet, they're probably about the same age range as Led Zeppelin was when Led Zeppelin started playing out, right?
Yeah, they're like 21, 22.
Why do they look like babies? And when I look at early pictures of Led Zeppelin, they look like fucking sexy dudes.
Yeah, you know what's weird though is like... This is a weird thing that I don't know if
I would sleep with Led Zeppelin. I wouldn't sleep with these guys.
I don't know if this is true, but people from like the 60s and 70s who look older when they were like 19 or 20.
It's like a diet thing?
I don't know what it is, but they do look like...
Let me get that,
not
homie.
that long ago.
I'm talking about fucking dudes. I need some beer.
In their 20s, in the 60s or 70s,
Hallmark
look weird. They look older. Exactly.
This is kind of like my mind goes to this. Speaking of what Ben says, there's one Riding Giants surf documentary. If you've ever listened to it with the commentary on, the one guy is talking about all this footage of these people on the beach in the 60s and 70s, and he's like, is it me or do they look healthier and more curvaceous, and they look kind of like more mature? And this guy was like, yeah, before they all started putting processed sugar and all this kind of shit in all the food. And I'm like, so I'm kind of thinking that like, did that natural sun and did it age them faster? Because I don't
know, man.
It is a byproduct of getting older. Where I look at college students now,
they look like
21, and I'm
children.
Like, I could be I literally could be your dad, but also like you don't look like you're 21. I'd card the shit out of you until you're at least 30. Weird.
I don't know what the fuck it is. That's the only thing I think about when I think of Greta Van Fleet.
They look like children.
They just look like children, and it really bothers me.
Well, the thing that bothers me is when the lead singer was like, well, we're really influenced by Aerosmith. And it was like, dude, this is where I geeked out. I was like, your drummer's design of his drum kit are the exact fucking measurements of Bonham's kit. The snare sounds like Bonham's kit. Your voice and your hand gestures are exactly Robert Plant. But you're literally ripping off another band.
There's puppet strings behind all
totally.
that. They have no fucking idea.
Yeah, no.
They have no fucking idea.
They're fucking playing Nebworth, and they're not seeing a dime of that shit. Somebody else is seeing it. So
yeah.
And then, they'll get together finally in their 30s and make like a folk record or something,
We'll see how it happens. Maybe they'll, like Hanson still has a very good touring career these days.
Really?
They're still an active band.
Get out of
But
town.
they're like just on some completely other shit.
Good for them.
Yeah. They're still around.
Well, I've learned something today.
You have. Check out some more recent Hanson whenever you get home.
Do you recommend anything?
For Hanson?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. I just know they're still a band.
That'd be so amazing if he like pulled off his t-shirt and had like a Hanson
Hanson tattoo. Just bop around both my nipples
forever.
All right. So before we wrap up, I do want to do some listener questions with you guys. How do you?
Yeah,
sounds fuck
great.
with that. You
do we have a sound effect for that?
We do. So we're gonna get there in a second, but I'm gonna pull this up over here. So we're going to roll with Kelly Phillips. Shout outs to Kelly Phillips. She was just on the show recently and she asked way too many questions.
Yeah, she sings for somebody, right? Or something?
No, well, Kelly Phillips, she has a podcast. Shout outs to the Tapestry Music Podcast. Okay. It's another local music podcast.
Cool.
And she also plays drums. She does vocals. She's done like guest work with other like internet music projects.
I feel like I've seen her as a singer somewhere.
But she doesn't play any, she's not like in an active band.
Okay.
But she was out the show last night, moshing around, having a good time. Yeah, she's awesome. Like really, really strong supporter of the local scene.
Did your show.
Yeah. There's we're building a community.
Cool.
Awesome. But
okay.
Kelly Phillips has asked a few questions, and I think that some of these will actually be pretty good for this particular group of people we're sitting with. And we're actually going to go through all of these as quickly as we possibly can. So the first question from Kelly Phillips, she asks, what is the most rewarding part of being in the local music scene?
I don't know if it's specific to but just creating a thing and then having other people listen to it and have fun with it. I mean, that's not specific to the local scene. It's just specific to making music in general.
Yeah, I think it's just finding a genuine way to maintain finding new relationships and friendships with people that are like in a similar age range to you, because it's like, I mean, I don't know how old everybody at this table is, but I imagine we're all at least in our 30s.
Yeah.
I'm
42.
Probably some over that.
Well, pushing 42, yeah.
But once you get to that point, it's really hard to just make friends.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got people that you work with, and sometimes those people suck. Yeah. And then it just becomes a thing where it's like, hopefully, somebody that I went to high school with has a kid so we can fucking hang out and have our kids hang out together. But having the local music scene is a cool way to just at least have acquaintances or just people that you know.
Right.
And that's really awesome. I think it's all about the whole reason I got into doing music or this podcast or anything was just because I really like connecting with other people that have similar interests.
Yeah.
So it's,
I also really love watching our friends do really awesome work.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to Sweet Sweet. It's the last single from Lo-Fi Delphi the other day, over and over again. And just, I love.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's a really good song. And I love watching our friends who we already love and respect them. And then they do something better than they did the last time. And not only does it I want to do something that good too, but it's super exciting to hear them do something that's really cool. So, I mean, that's what I love.
That's a really good point.
And you have a history with them too.
Right.
So you
knowing people that are knowing people in the scene doing cool things.
Yeah.
Makes you happy.
You mentioned Action Camp before. They were the first local band well over 10 years ago that I was really into, and seeing them now do awesome stuff. I just get so excited when they're oh, we have a new album out or we're doing this show. It's just cool to see. So
yeah. Ben, any thoughts?
I don't know. I can't add anything else to what they said. I enjoyed what they said.
Yeah.
So
I thought we did really
mirror
good.
that, reflect that.
I want to point out how awesome Ben's shirt is. I called it out down.
This is my wife's logo, actually.
This is the best part of our local music scene.
She does vibrational healing with a gong and crystal bowls.
Oh, who is this?
My wife.
Oh,
it's called
no
Sacred
shit.
Centered You.
Okay.
This is their new direction. So
I need to get one
I'm
of these
repping
shirts
it right now.
Him and his wife drove to Lincoln, Nebraska.
We drove to Nebraska on a Friday night. We decided we went to a show that this guy had a wall of gongs. Mike Tamburo is his name. And we saw him Thursday night and Friday night, 7 o'clock at night. We were like, fuck it, we're going to go to Nebraska and get this gong. So we picked up and left at 7 at night, drove 16 hours, got a gong and crystal bowls, drove back here.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
We were watching. We were
Spur of the moment.
He was keeping us up to date on their travels, and drove all the way to Lincoln,
cool.
Nebraska, did some shopping, and turned around and drove right back.
The gong is a really cool instrument, for the record.
Yeah,
check her out, sacredcenteredyou.com.
There you go.
Hell yeah, I love that
Thanks.
plug. So Kelly Phillips also asks, have you ever tried to cook a really difficult recipe and had it go perfectly or terribly?
I'm gonna have to bow out of this because
Nope. Not a home cooker?
Nope. Yeah.
I cook probably all of our meals, and I'm sure at some point my wife will hear this. I probably could get a 70 to 80% every night, and then the one night out of the month, she'll be like, "I'm going to cook tonight," because I'm always like, "No, I'll cook. You relax." And I have my Irish cooking, which is basically tasteless.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Okay.
And then she'll cook something. She'll cook something amazing, and I'm like, maybe you should just cook, and I'll clean from now on. So I've cooked several things very good, and I haven't failed, but she'll go, it's okay. And I'm like, upward inflection, meaning no, it's not okay. So what should I have done better? You know, Ben?
I gotta say sushi. That's a good date night thing if you're
try to
do
put
it
that
with
together.
yourself.
I think we tried sushi.
You could. It's really fun and easy to make your own
Do you
sushi.
use the mat?
Yeah, you have
Yeah, well, we used the placemat actually.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have the actual mat, but it's actually really easy and fun to make your own sushi. So
I think
do it. Do you do store-bought salmon?
I catch my own out of the Monongahela River. Actually,
explains why my T-shirt is glowing now.
That's fucking awesome. I got to answer this question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really good at making shitty foods really good.
Oh,
I will
that's
say,
a really good skill
but,
to have.
I will go toe to toe against anybody in the world that I can make a better box of Kraft macaroni and cheese than anybody else on the planet.
I'm not going to argue with that. I would love to have.
I can make a Totino's party pizza better than anyone else on the fucking planet. And I was actually really fucking pissed because they did a thing at Belvedere's. I think it was a PBR sponsored event where it was like you get $10 and like you have to basically get a party pizza and like make the ingredients and like they had like a competition for this.
Oh.
And it was made for me.
And you would have crushed.
We were fucking out of town.
Drag.
Oh yeah, that would have fucking
Are we adding things to the Kraft macaroni and cheese, or are we following the box instruction?
You add things.
You're adding
you
things.
tweak. You tweak it.
Yeah,
You tweak it a bit.
spicing it up a little bit.
Tweak a bit.
All right.
And I'll throw this out there. My biggest thing that I always throw in that I mix in with the fucking cheese powder, little bit of curry powder. Just a
I'm
little bit.
literally going to make a joke, like little curry, little soy. Dude.
Really?
coconut milk, I bet, would go well. Coconut
Here's what we're
milk's a
doing.
really
I'm going to
good-
say this right now.
It's universal.
Yeah, like the can of coconut milk.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Next season that we do shows, not only are we doing a show with Grey Walker, we're fucking bringing snacks.
Yeah, we're gonna have a potluck.
Oh my, that's
shows
such a good idea.
where people bring a covered dish.
Yeah. We'll do it at Howler's, and like Mary Jo will have a spread in the back, and it'll be like, "This is Grey Walker's dish."
I was at a show where
This is Evie's dish.
Every band brings a dish.
I was at a show where someone made one of the people in the band made cookies. Well, Lisa made cookies for us.
Lisa
one
made
time.
cookies once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
At a Shadow Lounge.
Yeah.
Come see awesome music, and then scarf your
Macaroni and cheese.
So good.
Made Grey Walker.
I do want to say
Grey Walker and cheese.
Ooh.
we do have our own hot sauce.
Oh,
Are you serious?
Yeah, Grey
Oh,
Walker. We
that's
do have our
cool.
own
You've
hot
been
sauce here.
holding out on this,
Oh,
man.
that's cool.
Because I do a lot of barbecuing, and I'm always looking for some good stuff.
I'll get you a bottle, my friend.
I'd like some too.
I do want to throw out real quick though, a negative experience. So me and Stacy have recently, for the past few months, we've been doing Green Chef. Like they send it's like Blue Apron. They send the meals to your house. And I am really, really bad at, I don't like following directions. As just, that's like a metaphor for my whole life, right? And I just get like really stressed out trying to follow the directions on the Green Chef thing. And I think the thing that stresses me out the most is that they always have like a cook time, 35 minutes. But there's like, you got to chop all these vegetables and do all this stuff. And I think I get in my head too much. I'm like, there's no fucking way you could do this in 35 minutes. I'm doing this fucking wrong. And like, I just make a big fucking mess. And I don't like making messes. And it's just, so I've had some real negative experiences doing
With the
Green Chef.
prepackaged thing that tell you like step by step what you have to do.
It's a lot of fun. And I will say I've gotten better at it.
Sure.
But Stacy's way better at that than I am.
I feel like those services should have like different levels of
Expertise.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty simple.
I know.
It's just sometimes it's like it's really
But like sometimes people enjoy like the activity of like putting the food together. So
I will
like,
say
there
this,
should
and
be a type where it like requires you to do more of the manual labor part, and then there's people who just want to like heat up food.
Yeah. It's a mixture. That's the thing that's really interesting about Green Chef is like sometimes they send you all of the ingredients and like the vegetables are already chopped. And then sometimes you just get a bag full of stuff that's like, you got to fucking do everything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you should be able to choose.
In your defense, my wife and I did Blue Apron like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, like before we were even married. And like, the the first night we were putting it together, we were both starving. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. It clearly says 45 minutes. I haven't even done the fucking filet thing yet. Yeah. And she's like, do you want me to help? I'm like, no, I got it. And like 2 hours later, I'm eating this amazing meal. And I'm like, we're never doing this again. But it was good. I was in my head and I'm like, I'm fucking this up. And it was delicious. But I'm like, they've even admitted like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have asked you to peel the garlic and then like grind it because some of you don't have fully functioning kitchens, which we didn't at the time.
It's been fun because it's made us buy a lot of things that we didn't have before. But And now it's like teaching us like different ways to like prepare different things. It's interesting.
We saved all of our menus.
We did too.
Yeah.
And we've definitely had a few weeks where like we look at the Green Chef menu and it's like, nothing really looks that good. Let's like go to the store, utilize our knowledge and like think about some meals we want to make and go from there. That's been fun. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. I guess let's just keep this going real quick. Camera reset. Boop, boop.
Camera reset?
Boop, boop. Yeah, it only records for a half hour at a time, so I have to like manually fix it from my laptop.
We could have switched seats and just kept
that would have been really fucking
not
funny.
even mentioned it.
That would have been really fucking
like
funny.
A Peter Gabriel video in the 1980s. You just keep moving over one mic.
What is this? Get out of here. I don't need that. All right, we got a couple more questions from our homie Kelly Phillips, and we're going to wrap this shit up. So if you could... Wait, Kelly Phillips asks, again... If you could pet any animal without the fear of it maiming or killing you, what would it be?
A black bear, like a giant bear.
Yeah, but they're cozy, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A great white shark.
Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I'm going to go a little smaller, chimpanzee.
Oh, I haven't even thought about
Chimps
that.
are cool.
They're vicious, though.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
Underwater, because I'm a nerd and I know this. Underwater, like apparently sharks don't. They usually attack at the top of the water because they have more control. So, like a shark attack, like in the movies when they're like eating a diver, it's like technically that wouldn't happen. So that's why like those people can reach out of those cages and pet a fucking 20-foot great white and not get their arm chopped off. But
have you ever seen a chimpanzee underwater?
No,
I haven't either.
I don't think they. But
you know what?
There
I will
hasn't
say
been
this:
one captured shot of a chimpanzee.
If
underwater.
a chimpanzee swam up next to the shark, I'd fuck the shark. Come here, buddy. And
I don't think they swim. I think that's one of the things. I don't think they swim.
Is there a primate that swims? We need to figure that out for the next.
That's a good question.
Is there a primate?
My answer.
There's got to be one.
My answer. I'm gonna go with like a hyena or some kind of weird, like really like vicious four-legged little like dog-like animal, because like I think they're so like hideous and cute, and it would just be fun to be like, come here, little buddy.
I'm your buddy.
You little fucking hyena.
Hello.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with a bear, because like you have teddy bears. You think that they're like, but they're just killing machines. They would destroy you,
especially like polar bears. They're like, they're so cute. They're the Coca-Cola, like, and I'm like, no, the reason they're that big in a place where there's like nothing is because they're just killing stuff all the time.
All the time.
That's
all they do.
They've literally eat their own young if they get hungry enough, and that's really fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to like share a Coke with a bear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I could share a Coke with a bear and rub his belly and then get back on the boat before he decides I should eat me, like I should eat this guy. Then
All right.
Okay, next question.
So Kelly Phillips also asks again, we're flying through these for you, homie. Who are some unconventionally influential people in your life?
Oh, wow.
Unconventionally influential. That's
first of all really hard to say.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
That's a vocal warm up to say that 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking music or are we just talking in general?
I would say in general. I think I would definitely say in a negative way. This is going to be some dark shit, and I apologize. But my mom and my dad were both unconventionally influential in the terms of they never did anything positive with themselves, and a big part, I think, of why I spent so much time trying to always like work and do good for myself and like just like do stuff is because like I grew up around of just completely unmotivated people.
Yeah.
And it was like
kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a bummer. It just didn't make sense because like when I was a kid, I was always like trying to draw pictures or trying to like make music on a shitty little keyboard. You know, like it just is like why it didn't make sense to me that other people didn't want to just do stuff.
Well, that's certainly the upside to having those experiences, right?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got an answer?
I don't.
Anybody?
I don't. Man.
Anybody have an answer for this?
Pee Wee.
No, that's a really
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
I swear, I was raised on Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, he is
Not raised on him, but I've watched an awful lot of Pee Wee Herman growing up,
and he's influenced you.
And he's influenced me.
Like
I think the weird part of me,
weirdness,
the weirdness that not too many people know,
the completely not self-conscious weird.
Yeah, and I think my sense of humor just is weird, kind of.
Yeah,
and so.
And yeah, wouldn't it be very freeing to be able to kind of be like that character? Like he doesn't care.
Yeah,
like, he's totally weird.
He's coming to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
is he really? Is he really?
I was pulling that.
For what?
I was literally I was just pulling that up actually because I wasn't sure if you were aware of that or not. But yeah, Paul Rubens is going to be at Steel City Con August 9th, 10th, and 11th. So you could go before or after your killer gig.
We should fucking invite him to our show. We should fucking invite him to our show.
If Pee Wee shows up at our show.
Oh my God. If only like 5 people show up and one of them
is Paul Rubens.
Oh, that'd be the best.
Oh wait, where'd it go?
He was right there.
What the fuck?
Comic-Con info.
Give me a break. There he is. So you got George Takei's going to be there. Paul Rubens.
Yo, Ernie Hudson is coming.
Ernie Hudson's going to be there. You got
that's a cast.
A whole medley of motherfuckers are going to be there. Shirley Jones.
We should do a fucking.
Wow.
Oh, that'd be so. This could be the best beach blanket blowout show ever.
Yeah.
If they all showed up. Can you imagine? We just carpet bomb the just come to the show afterwards.
I'll pick them up on a bike.
Yeah, one more time. Shout outs for the Beach Blanket Bomb Show, August 10th at Cativo.
I almost said Beach Blanket Bingo, which is the movie it's based off of. That it's a twist off of Beach Blanket Bingo was like one of those like what's her name from the Mouseketeers? I'm gonna forget her name. It was like kind of a kitsch kind of 60s swinging beach comedy, and it's like Beach Blanket Bingo. I'm not gonna call it that. That's copyrighted. Beach Blanket Blowout.
Oh,
is more fun.
I didn't know that's where that
got it. We got it. So that was awesome. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go meet your boy?
I might have to.
I think you should. I might be up there. So if you're there,
I'll see you there.
Hit me up. And then Kelly Phillips. One last question. This is gonna be a good one for Kevin. God. So Kelly Phillips asks, if you could bring back any band that doesn't tour anymore for one last show, which band would it be?
And they don't have to still be alive. Like they could.
I'm
gonna say they don't have to be alive.
They don't have to be alive. Okay.
I literally was just gonna say I'm just gonna jump out there and say if time and death wasn't an issue, Big Star. I would love to see Big Star, like circa 1974. Big Star. There's a Chris Bell that's still alive, a young Alex Chilton, and Andy Hummel. Jody Stevens, who's the drummer of Big Star, he works at Ardent Records, Ardent Studios, and he still plays music and tours, and he's alive and happily alive and doing shows. But if all the members of Big Star were here, they don't even have to be in their youth. They could be old, gray, grizzled Big Star. But if it was Big Star together playing a show, or if it was like the Big Star from 1974 that was just there for one fucking show, that'd be the greatest night of my life. You know, immediately I was going through the list, REM, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, what if death isn't an issue? You know?
Sure.
My first thought as soon as I heard that was the Jimi Hendrix Experience. But then I rethought about that because, if I would hate to see it now, like if he was still alive and they just
you like time machine it.
Yeah, it would have to be a time machine sort of
My
situation.
answer's time machine-y too.
Yeah.
But what about you, Ben?
I don't know. What's yours?
So my time machine-y, if I could see David Lee Roth era Van Halen.
Oh my God.
That would at the fucking beginning, just to be a part of that, dude.
Would be very cool.
Like Van Halen 2, like they've already broken it in and they're not playing PPG yet, but they're playing big places.
I would be fucking over the fucking moon if I could be a part of that, dude. Seriously.
Actually, the 1978 David Bowie tour is really good too.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think The Ramones, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
The time machine of going back to the Ramones,
Jesus
or
Christ, the Clash.
the Clash. Black
Fucking
Flag, the original
Jam,
one.
1982, Bingley Hall.
Fugazi would be a cool show.
The list is endless. Like, because I've always joked about like if there is a heaven, you are like it is whatever you want it to be, and like I've always joked that like I will instantly be at the front of the stage in 1967, June of '67, of the Monterey Pop Festival. The minute Otis Redding walks on stage and he'll shake. Because he's on stage with Booker T and the MGs and the Barkays as his backup. And you watch him do Shake, and I'm like, that might be the fucking best 2.5 minutes ever recorded. And it was the first time he played in front of a mainly white audience, and he had them in like 30 seconds. And it was killer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the nerd that's the nerd answer. The knee-jerk answer was Big Star.
Yeah. I will say something that I deeply regret was not seeing Charles Bradley when he was here.
Oh, yeah.
Because
when was that?
It was like a year before he passed, but he played in Pittsburgh for free for one of those just like downtown outside events.
Oh, really?
And it was one of those things where I was like, I know Charles Bradley's in town, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to go do something. I don't think I was doing anything too important that night, but I was doing something else.
He passed away on my 40th birthday because I was in the hospital the next day. My wife and I she was up in the room, and I went down to get a bite to eat after being awake all night. And I saw the news that he had passed away like that night. So he passed away like on the 23rd or the 24th, 2 years ago.
Man.
But
here's a dumb question. Who's Charles Bradley?
So Charles Bradley, soul singer who didn't really get any like critical acclaim until like the later years of his life.
Yeah.
He put out some really, really awesome albums. And if you're into that sort of stuff, I would check it out.
He does a cover of Black Sabbath Changes.
Yeah, it's really
which will
good.
stop you dead in your tracks.
Wow. Yeah,
it's really
He's like
good.
a Sharon Jones, who Sharon Jones was like,
they're both
she didn't walk
artists
into,
too.
she didn't
really?
walk.
I didn't know that.
Sharon Jones didn't walk into a professional recording studio until she was like in her late 40s.
Wow.
And she started putting out records, and people have been like, where the fuck has she been? Like, she would just kill it.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She played like Benedum-sized stages the rest of her life, and it was so good. And then she passed away from cancer, I think it was.
Sharon Jones, Ain't No Chimneys in the Projects is one of my favorite Christmas songs.
She does a version of
that's
fucking killer.
She does a version of This Land Is Your Land. It's just like, it's so good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. I know because now that I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, to see Jeff Buckley at Shanae would have been fucking awesome.
Sure, you could keep going.
You just threw him down a loop.
Yeah. There's actually, funny enough, there's like certain guys that they're not here anymore. And I'm like, that's okay. Cause they did something really beautiful. And it's kind of beautiful that they got out what they did and they're not here anymore. And it's upsetting, but I wish John Lennon was still alive, but there's other artists where I'm like, I'm okay that they're not around anymore.
Do you think the rest of the Beatles would be such douchebags if John Lennon was still alive?
I don't know.
He was kind of a douchebag too sometimes.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
There was a rumor years ago. I remember reading an article that they had talked about like doing a tour in the early 80s. And Geldof has said a couple times, like, if they had all been alive in Live Aid, I would have fucking gotten them. I just would have forced them to do it. There's no way they wouldn't have played Live Aid.
Yeah, I think if John Lennon was, I don't
think they would have played.
I think they would have.
I think they would have played Live Aid, and then that would be it. And then we're talking like 3 songs, and then I think they wouldn't have come back together until the early 90s when they started putting out the anthologies again.
I'm really upset we didn't get the synth-driven 80s Beatles album that we all deserved.
Which we almost certainly would have gotten.
God.
How do you think the musical landscape, if the Beatles were still an active band in the 80s, how do you think they would have shifted the musical landscape?
I
think they would have been. I really think they would have been buried by punk and post-punk.
I think they would have went the route of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, though they would have split up, and Paul would have made his solo album, and so and so would have done this. I think a lot of those great solo albums, like by George Harrison, even Ringo's first solo album is great. They wouldn't have come out when they did.
Yeah,
they would have just been kind of side projects, and they would have been released kind of posthumously. And all these critics in the 90s would be whining like, why the fuck didn't you put this out in 74 when you had it,
Sure.
Dennis Wilson had a great solo album apparently from the Beach Boys. I've only heard a few songs off of it, but it wasn't released.
I've never listened to Ringo.
It wasn't released until It Don't Come Easy. It's like, that was his,
I've never
he had the first #1 single.
Really?
I think it was Ringo's "It Don't Come Easy" was the first #1 single post Beatles, and then
no kidding.
George Harrison released his album right after that, and then it was
George Harrison's album was like kind of already in process for.
It was like two. Yeah, it was two. So then he released his
George
solo
Harrison had some 80s sounding stuff.
He did.
Oh, I love that.
Sure,
you know, it's funny.
but like not a bad way. Some of it's
I
pretty
love
good.
it.
That's killer pop.
Absolutely,
Yeah, it's very
love it.
80s.
It's so good
it's
pop. Yeah.
Very specific to that.
I got my
time
mind
period.
set on you as like legitimately a good fucking song.
I guess
I remember that.
that's what 80s Beatles would have sounded like.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
I got my
enough,
mind set on you. That music video, I remember being in love with that music
He
video.
did two of them.
Yeah, I know.
There was a black and white one that came out that he enjoyed doing, but he had an original idea of him just sitting there and having stuff come alive in the room. So he reshot the video, and they did that. And that's like right on the cusp of like him working with Tom Petty and doing the Traveling Wilburys. So there would have been a lot. I think there would have been a lot of cool stuff.
Hard to say.
know.
Someone to play the keytar. Isn't that what that was called? Who would play the keytar?
Oh, Paul would have definitely
play the keytar.
Yeah, John wouldn't have fucking touched that thing. There's no way.
John
But Ringo would have totally had like the fucking like octagon shaped red drums, like do 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 do. It would have been like the most amazing
with the crystals in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
With the wind chimes in the back.
Would have been so good and so bad. Now the fact that they weren't there and there was a hole to be filled allowed, especially in England, all those bands. I just recently rewatched the album or the movie 24 Hour Party People, and then went on this album surge of going back to, you know, the Happy Mondays, Joy Division, all those bands that came out of like the factory record scene, which also connects to the Smiths, which also then connects to Oasis. It's like these jumping points that like it keeps going.
Yeah.
And it's like so much good music came out then that was all influenced by the punk stuff, but it went in a different it wasn't punk bands trying to be punks in the mid 80s. It was like they took all the technology that was coming out and made their own thing. And all that stuff is so exciting and just as relevant to me now. I mean, I was only 5 when a lot of those records came out, but I think if the Beatles had been around, they just would have been buried by that stuff. I think it could have almost kind of been sad, you know?
Sure.
You know, I have always defended the Who for continue going when they lost various members because they both kind of, their members died at odd times where it made sense for them to keep going. But like the fact when Bonham died, they were like, we're done. Like, I respect that. I feel like that was so key to their sound that they were like, we're not continuing.
Yeah.
But, you know, Entwistle doing a line of coke and dying of a heart attack on the edge of a tour, they're like, we'll call Pino Palladino and see how it goes for a tour. And then they just kept going, you know.
Well, hey, you know, speaking of things dying, if we look at the screen, we have 3% battery left on the camera. We've been going for an hour and 32 minutes. I think that I think that we could probably kill this conversation.
So we should recharge and we'll be back.
Yeah. Part 2.
We're gonna go get sandwiches at the places
At the Tap Factory.
Yeah. We'll be back.
Oh yeah. But no, real talk. I'm gonna do my outro and I'm gonna thank you all for being here. We're gonna do all
Thank you
that.
for having
But
us.
August 10th,
Kativo
Let's do
Beach
it up.
Blanket Blowout. It's going to be an awesome night of garage and surf rock music. September 7th at Howlers, a bunch of great bands, and it's for a good cause for Planned Parenthood. And we're going to end off our show, our season of shows, as it were. October 18th, it will be the Real Sea, the Big Bend and Us at the Fun House, and then have a good Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad, Sykes.
And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Ben, Kevin, Jesse, Los Vampiros Amarillos in the building. 3rd time's a charm. Happy to have you here. Be sure to check out those shows, those events. Always good talking with these fucking schmucks. I really enjoy you guys. I'll be back again in a couple days with some other fucking idiot, I'm sure. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the Beat 2019. Whoop, woo. Thanks for listening. That slow fade.
We did go a while. I didn't realize it was that. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah,
Because at one point I looked over and it was like 37 minutes. I'm like, oh, we're good.
Cool, thanks, man.
Oh, you're very welcome. And stop.